Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Schuyler Reacts. Today we have Before They Were Famous, Easy Meal. Alright. I know I was MIA for the past couple of days. I was sick. I'm still a little bit sick, but I gotta get back on the grind. Um, yeah, I know a lot of you guys are like big fans of Easy Meal on this channel, and I appreciate all the love and support and thank y'all for subbing. But before like his whole song Eminem that I react to, I didn't know anything about Easy Mail, so this should give me like more information about him and like his background and where he came from and whatnot, and basically his life before being famous. All right, so before we get started, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, and let's get it.
Before Easy Mill would go viral with performance on Wish USA 107.5 Bus, earning himself nearly 100 million views in the process. Before Easy Mill would sign
Damn.
with Shady Records and have his new label head Eminem show up on his recent single Realist.
All right, so he's officially signed. I wasn't sure. I don't know, people like saying like, "Oh, Eminem signed him," but people usually say that without any like actual facts. Like people say that because someone did a song with someone else. But yeah, good to know.
Before Easy Mill would have around 268,000 followers on Instagram, nearly a quarter million followers on TikTok, and almost a million subscribers on YouTube at the time of this recording. And those numbers, they're going up fast. I'll tell you one person who never forgot about Dre. Up and coming hip hop sensation Easy Mill. Now, this Las Vegas based artist has been on the rise for the past couple of years, and at the age of 25, well, he just signed the biggest deal of his career as Shady House Records and Aftermath Entertainment's newest artist. Now, what's it like
Congrats.
to have your career shepherded by two of the biggest to ever run the game? Well, I'll tell you this much. It gives your diss track instant credibility, especially when Slim Shady himself is backing you up. Oh my god, if this happened to me, you'd have to pinch me for the rest of my life. I wouldn't believe
Facts.
it. So how did a kid born and raised in the Philippines wind up as Eminem's next protege? Well,
All right, so I didn't even know that. So one of the guys told me in the comments like he's actually found like born and raised from the Philippines. I didn't even know that. I thought he was just like straight American, but that's not the case. That's interesting to make it from the Philippines to be signed by Eminem, bro. That's like huge. Like that's unheard of.
Well, you're about to find out on our latest episode of Before They're Famous. I also got a feeling him and Em might watch this video. I know Em's watched my videos in the past. My God, why wasn't it me? I know, I'm too old now. Anyway, let's get into the video. Easy Mill was born Ezekiel Miller on July 27, 1998 in Ulangupa City in the Philippines. Now, despite being born in Southeast Asia, well, the kid, he grew up around rock and roll, literally. In fact, both his parents, well, they were prominent musicians where he's from. Now, his father, Paul Sapira, well, he was the lead vocalist of the popular 90s band Rockstar, known for their hit song Parting Time.
Siya ni Easy yan eh.
So ngayon siya na ang boss mo ngayon.
Yes.
So he's pretty much been around music his entire life. So both his parents are like musicians. So that explains where like all his talent like came from.
Yes. He's my boss.
Pero may boss ka.
Meanwhile, Easy's mother, Hazel Miller, well, she was a veteran performing artist with a powerful voice. Now, considering he had two talented musicians for parents, well, is it any surprise that Easy, well, he grew up with musical aspirations. Now, his folks, they first noticed that he had an ear for music around the age of 5. Then a few years later, well, he started learning guitar. Now, as he broadened his musical horizons, well, he listened to R&B from artists like Chris Brown, and he discovered hip-hop.
All right, see, this is all talking about like even when that one reaction freeze when he was like doing like the whole choreography and like dancing and stuff. I'm like, oh wait, he can dance. And like, I also brought up Chris Brown, and it's funny that it shows that he was watching and he paid attention to like R&B, and it shows like his dance move and
Broadened
stuff.
his musical horizons while he listened to R&B from artists like Chris Brown, and he discovered hip-hop thanks to Tupac. Now, in high school, he finally mastered the guitar with a little help from the popular video game Guitar Hero, and he showed a special talent for performing heavy metal songs on the 6th string. After graduating from high school, well, Easy, he moved to Baguio to study architecture, but he wound up dropping out shortly thereafter. He then moved to the United States, settling in Seattle with his mother and siblings, who had already been based out of there for a couple of years. Now that he was approaching adulthood, Will Easy's taste they had matured from heavy metal to deathcore, and he began teaching himself the ins and outs of musical production. Now, eventually, his family they moved from Washington State to California, where Easy recorded music in his bedroom, often with the help of his sister Rain, uploading some of his earliest creations to his Slash Mouth YouTube channel. From LA, his family they moved to Las Vegas, and Easy, he got a job working at a local Burger King, where he'd write lyrics to songs on fast food containers while trying to fund his dream of making music full-time. Around this time,
the grind doesn't stop, bro. Doesn't mean because you're not where you need to be. That doesn't mean you gotta stop working on it. He's writing lyrics while he's taking orders and stuff in a fast food restaurant, bro. That's what you call dedication, bro.
Also began to recognize that it would probably be difficult to go mainstream in heavy metal or deathcore, so he shifted his attention towards hip-hop, and he hasn't looked back since. Now, the first thing Easy Mill did to launch his rap career was come up with his moniker. That wasn't very difficult. All he had to do was take his real name of Ezekiel Miller and shorten the name, and there you have it. Then in early 2020, this aspiring artist, he took part in the 24 Bars Mark Beast Challenge, a platform for up-and-coming artists created by producer Mark Beats. That was one of the most notable performances in the competition, while Easy's freestyle garnered over 8 million views on YouTube. Nervous as hell.
I gotta react to that one. That freestyle, 8 million?
Competition,
God, damn.
Easy's freestyle garnered over 8 million views on YouTube. Nervous as hell, he'd meet his childhood idols. Easy, he jumped in his car and he drove from Vegas to Los Angeles to link up with Em and Dre. Now, thankfully, Slim Shady, he immediately put the kid at ease by cracking a pretty horrendous dad joke in regards to Easy's young age.
Lobby, because like Dre was sitting right there, like at the lobby, bro, like of the studio. And then M was inside the studio.
Shortly after that meeting, Eminem, he made Mills signing official, and then he got the kid even more attention by featuring himself on Easy's next release, a quintessential Eminem classic, the good old-fashioned diss track. A week after the announcement that Easy Mill had become the newest member of Shady Records, Aftermath Entertainment, and Interscope, Mill dropped his first single as part of a deal, a song titled Realist, that bolstered none other than Eminem himself.
Which was fire, by the way.
Now, co-produced by both artists, the single features a sparse beat that provides all the space both artists need to spit fire. And while Mill, he mainly sticks to his lane with his lyrics, while recalling how excited he was to sign to Eminem's label, Shady takes this opportunity to get a few things off his chest in relation to some ongoing beefs he's had with The Game and Grandmaster Melly Mel. In August of 2022, The Game, he dropped a 10-minute Eminem diss track called The Black Slim Shady, while furthermore suggesting during recent media appearances that Eminem's music is seldom, if ever, played in clubs. And the only creature on the planet with a longer memory than an elephant, well, of course, it's Eminem. Now, I know I've been at some clubs, and I remember they did Ass Like That, and people dance. Like, not my favorite Eminem era, but still, I've heard it at a club, just saying. Also, the first time I grinded with a girl was to Forgot About Dre.
But to be honest, though, the clubs they're talking about and the clubs he's talking about is completely different clubs.
Just want to put that out there as well. Anyway, back to the story. Mel, meanwhile, suggested that M's skin color has contributed widely to his overall success during an interview of her own. Now, to be honest, that's something Eminem has admitted to in the past on his 2002 hit, White America, but apparently he's not too fond of other people pointing it out. Now, with all this floating around in the back of his mind, Shady's verse on Realist begins by referencing Mel's comments before going all in on The Game hard, suggesting that the only reason they still play The Game's music at nightclubs, well, it's because those are the only kind of venues still willing to book him. After that single dropped and made a massive impact, Easy Mill announced that his third studio album, Duality, will be released as a deluxe version under his new partnership with Slim and Dre. The revamp will, of course, include his collaboration with Eminem, so expect this re-release to sell more copies than any of Mill's previous singles. Hell, it might even sell more copies than all of his previous work combined. And now that he's been taken under the wing of hip-hop royalty, the sky is the limit for this incredibly talented kid. Will Easy Mill become as synonymous with rap as Eminem and Dre have always been? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. After all, this has been Before They're Famous. Thanks so much for tuning into this one, guys.
I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Leave in the comments what you guys think of this video, and please subscribe. Alright, 96% of you that watches my content aren't subscribed. Please subscribe. It takes 1 second. All right. Appreciate the love, and I'll see you for the next reaction.